Just so you know, your car is very loud and the mic's picking it up.
Go home.
Thank you. Goodbye. Hi, I'm Blake Ignatius, the Dungeon Master of D&D Down Under on the channel ReadySetRoll. And tonight, my guest is...
Jordan.
How you going, man?
We're recovering from COVID, but we're good. We're getting there.
Yeah. That's good. Well, hopefully you can be like your brother at some point and be on top of the world.
Nah, sorry, bro. I'm scared of heights.
Nah. Alrighty. Yeah. So, tonight we had some combat.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
And you were actually the first player to introduce a mechanic that we have done in previous games that I've designed called QuickTime.
Yeah, so we did it in the last campaign as well. It's good fun, I'll tell you what.
It's to make combat more interesting, but also to make it faster at certain points. So, for instance, tonight you had 3 gnolls versus you.
Yep.
And that would be a long battle if you went turn-based.
Definitely, yeah. 3 on 1. I mean, I'm attacking 1 a turn, and I get 3 hits on me. So,
and the QuickTime more turns it in your favor.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know how QuickTime works, which a lot of you wouldn't, QuickTime is a mechanic that I made for our games. So the way it works is that everyone gets a turn, but it all depends on how quick they are of declaring their turn. So for instance, if there were 4 players at the table and the DM, player 1 gets to say, I'm going to do this. Then said action happens. Then the DM's turn. Then player 2 gets to step in. But if they can't make a decision on what they're doing, I can decide to step in. Now, I don't make it unbelievably quick, but it is faster than usual. You have generally 6 seconds to make an action, and I do count that. So, when you would make an attack in QuickTime, you would just make a normal attack roll. But the defending player gets to either use their dexterity or their strength to make a dodge action or a blocking action. The dodge action happens through your dexterity, adding your dexterity modifier. So you roll a d20, add your dexterity modifier. And if you take the block action, it's a d20 plus your strength modifier, because you might be better at strength than you are at dex. So you pick and choose how that goes. Or you might forego the actual blocking of it and make an attack back yourself. So that way you will take the hit if they hit you, and that just goes for your natural AC at that point, and you get to hit back at them. So that's enough about explaining that. There'll be a whole video based off that. So yeah, you got to do that for the first time for that.
Yeah, it was good.
And you knocked 3 of them pretty out. You didn't even really take much damage
Well,
yourself.
to be fair, one of the gnolls took the other one out on his own.
He did.
So, but that's okay. It happens. It's part of the game.
You natural one and the Knoll natural one.
Yeah. So nice little even.
When you said it, I couldn't believe it. So I had to show Rob the die, and I was like, "Hey, Rob, check this out." It was nuts. So after that, you heard more gnolls coming, so you called out for the others, and they ran up.
Yeah.
And there was 6 of them.
Yep.
So it was weird. Neilbog was doing weird movements in combat. I was guessing it so it didn't just look like a train and he could keep moving and understanding.
I think he was just trying to constantly keep it in position for advantage.
Yeah.
And he saw that there was 2 then attacking me from behind as well. So he was just kind of finding any way to sort of also help take some sort of damage as well.
Yeah. Well,
worked out well for our side.
Well, did it though? Because Neilbog...
we didn't really hit anything.
No.
So, in an ideal situation, we would have melted those 3 really quickly.
You actually hit them the most. Your side.
Yeah.
I was going to say that Gale and Kithana had never... they hardly missed their hits.
They started pretty well. They just got hit like a truck at the end, and they just couldn't keep up. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 2 very squishy people.
So,
and the 2 tanks of the party, pretty much, the 2 heavy hitters, were at the other end.
Well, it's kind of hard, right? Because it's not just Neilbog. Rob himself likes to make questionable decisions. So we need someone to hold his hand sometimes to make sure he doesn't get too carried away.
Yeah.
Look, it's probably my fault for saying I'm the one that should go with him. I think if we sort of split the party a little bit more evenly in terms of who was fighting where with who, we probably would have made a little bit more evenly matched.
Yeah, well, that's also what I'm finding is that you'll always see Gale and Kitana always at one end with each other.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because that's kind of how the campaign sort of started, right?
Yeah.
So they're sort of like, they've already started as friends because they've helped each other. Whereas like Rob and I sort of had an understanding, but at the same time, I had just lost an army.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was responsible for the attacks where. They sort of proved their innocence and then killed a guard. So, you know, who knows, man? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying so hard to like try and be a team player.
Yeah.
But then they make questionable choices.
Well,
so it's kind of hard.
Well, what was your initial thought on that when you first heard it?
Mate, I was ready to walk out. I was like, are you shitting me? The one time we go to like a hometown for a main character, it's genuine courtesy that you don't, you know, stir shit.
Well, in all fairness, they were drunk, but I
understand.
I myself was just expecting, look, they took this, they lied to the guard, and now they're getting arrested for it because the guard doesn't know what's going on. So then they were resisting arrest, so the guard was doing like a warning shot. And then,
which is what he's supposed to do.
And then they
like he's acting entirely as he should be.
And then they murdered him, and so far I've gotten away with it.
Well, we'll see. We don't know that. We haven't returned back to the city yet. But so I was just like, guys, come on, you know. But as a friend of theirs, I love it. It's friggin' hilarious, right? But when it's your backstory and, you know, it's your hometown and you've built this big character with this story, it just kind of it's like, bro, come on, like. That's a bit shit, you know.
Any other town would have been great.
Yeah, anything else, I'm down for the funny times,
the shenanigans.
You know? Yeah.
But
so
literally any other town would have been better than the one.
Exactly, but it happens. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
But as the character, it's hard because I'm trying to solve this. Who destroyed the town? And the one group of people that I can semi-trust have also just killed innocent people. Well, one innocent person and one assassin in the city walls, and you're like, bro, like, who can you really trust, you know?
It's also like, what do you do then? Do you keep them around because you need their help right now, or do you arrest them?
Well, that's right. And it's kind of like, you know, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. Like, you want to keep tabs on them, but at the same time, you're being hunted by gnolls, and it's, you know, it's even sometimes not gnolls.
Yeah.
So it's hard. But we're getting there. I think we're starting to build a bit of a rapport now. I tried not to sort of metagame knowing that Gale was down on the ground, so I waited until I found a position to charge at the other gnoll and then saw him on the ground. I was like, okay, now I have a reason to go over and sort of heal.
Yeah, well, if you had metagaming, I'll call you out. Just
exactly right, and that's why I didn't want to do it.
Well, I called Neilbog out for it.
Yeah. I only had 5 health, and I was like, oh, we're fighting a range fighter. I can't cover the distance. I should probably just wait for Neilbog to sort of make the first move and sort of distract them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I waited. We went from there. So it was the right choice. Look, ultimately, I probably could have potentially killed Gale by not getting there in time.
Yeah.
But you don't see it. You don't know it.
You did everything you did, and you did it right.
And all the heal spells that I have are
all
touch.
Close. Yeah.
So
touch. I think
and action based.
About a paladin.
So I couldn't even charge to get to him in time to really like get there and then like do a heal because you just can't do it.
Well, yeah. Another thing is tonight is the first night your character's actually dropped to 0. Like you've gone down.
Well, yeah, I went to 1 first and then got hit again.
Yeah,
so
that was
it happens. You know?
That was like when you're like I go down initially, but your half orc trait kicks in, and it puts you to 1, and I'm like, well, this gnoll has 3 health, so any time to kill it is right now, and then you didn't even get to kill it.
Well, again, like it's at that point where you don't know if he's actually going to die or not. We have a rule in this campaign, which is the first time we've initiated it, where it's when we do our death rolls, the player doesn't roll it themselves, the DM does, and we don't know the result. So it sort of gives you that urgency of crap. Do we really need to save them straight away, or are we going to sort of get rid of the bad guy?
Yeah.
And it's gotten to that point now where we're still sort of building that rapport now. It's like, oh, you know what? Someone's on the ground. They've sort of helped defend this village when I was by myself. I probably should try and keep as many people alive as possible.
Well, not just that too. So. In testing all the characters, this was before Kitana Cat. She changed her character.
Yeah.
She changed her character from a sorcerer. And during that, no one actually went over to heal her in time. And
Correct,
I think
yeah.
it was you guys are still used to the old mechanic where you'd like, oh yeah, you're pretty fine and stuff.
Well, yeah, and you don't think twice about it. And it's hard because, like, again, when we were in that testing phase, we didn't have a healer.
No.
Except for myself with lay on hands. And then we also had, I had a potion. No one else really had many potions.
And now there's two people that technically have healing spells.
Yeah. And so it sort
someone
of
who
makes it
can
work a bit better.
self-heal.
Yeah. So it's working a little bit better. I think once we're at the position, once the characters know each other a bit better, trust one another, can move forward, healing will become more of a priority for the group. At the moment, we're still strangers trying to work towards a common goal. So
Exactly.
we're getting there. It's just a matter of time. But
Yeah, they want to get paid. And you
they want to get paid. I just want to do my goddamn job. But we're getting there. Anything for father's approval.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, what is your thoughts on the fire starter? That whole situation that you got told with the
chained up guards and stuff. Yeah. Look, if they're chained, it's not willing. So either someone's made a deal with Knowles, or Knowles have taken advantage of the situation. But it sounds like there's almost a bit of an uprising brewing in the country.
Well, the way that that Arthur thinks it's going on, he reckons it's like a rebellion.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, we've also met people from another country when we're in the castle. They are from a friendly nation, but at the same time, not all wars start from enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
So, honestly, mate, I've got no idea. I'd like to say I've got a dog in the fight because it is the country I'm from and I have a place to fight for. But, mate, I don't know who it is. I'm just trying to do my best at the moment to try and one step at a time solve these issues up north. We've seen some gnolls go towards the mountains. If we can try and maybe follow the one that ran at the start of combat, if we can find a way to track that and get back to him.
Well, one thing that has been the common ground for it is that you have from now on seen the gnolls hanging out in the woods now.
Well, little bits, yeah.
So bits. It could be a way that you follow the woods into the mountains, or you can just go to the mountains and try and find it there.
Yeah, so it's... I don't know. We're going to have to find a way to track it, but if we don't deal with these gnolls, they're just going to keep coming for us. Yeah. So we need to find a way to sort of address it too. Yeah. That'll probably lead us to more answers too. I mean, if this gnoll can...
Well, you'll find out what happened with all the guards.
Exactly right. But if this gnoll can write semi-legible in some sort of language, I'm guessing there's a way we can at least communicate with it.
Well...
So even if it comes down to like a...
The only person I think can speak to it is Neilbog.
Yeah, well... Be a team player, I guess.
You have a Google Translate.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's
very loose translate, but we'll get there. Yeah.
Well, other than that, that's it. Thank you for coming on tonight.
No, thanks for having me, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
You were my first ever one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So
now we're up to episode 13.
Well, it's good because I've actually got some things to comment on now. It's fun. The first episode I was just that was fun.
This was it. Now it's like there's actually a brewing story.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you want to catch more D&D content, just continue browsing through our YouTube channel. And if you want to see the games that are live, go onto twitch.tv, ReadySetRoll. You'll actually find the links through the description here. And we go live on Wednesdays at 8:30 and Fridays at 8:30. So if you want to catch us there, more than welcome to. Do you have any last things you want to say?
Yeah, when you go on YouTube, when you watch these episodes, because that's where you're supposed to go, Odd Numbers are the Wednesday group. Best group. Keep watching the Odd Numbers.
Alrighty, thanks guys. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.